Fighter jets and tanks have finally been put out of business by drones. Drones are now at the front lines of the war in Ukraine, as Russia and Ukraine continue to battle it out. Ukraine has, however, recently gotten the upper hand in this war of drones due to some weaknesses in Russia's representatives. Ukraine's freezing weather being one of them. Ukraine, armed with some of the most advanced Western drones there are, along with some Soviet-era drones that don't need a warm blanket to work fine, doesn't share these weaknesses. And so in this video, we'll take a look at all of these drones fighting for both sides, what makes them stand out, and why Ukraine is leading, and why Russia is suffering heavy drone losses. Russia's current frontline drone is the Shahed 136, which the country purchased from Iran and then produced locally under license. Months prior to winter in Ukraine, these drones were quite the force and played a role in damaging Ukraine's energy infrastructure, an attack that plunged Ukrainians in darkness in an attempt to keep the country at the mercy of the cold of the approaching winter. However, as winter came, Russia too was affected, as their Shahed 136 drones are made of plastics and other materials that aren't frost resistant. This prevents the drones from operating well in cold weather. Russia was already running low on these drones, with reports stating that 350 units out of a total 400 had been expended or destroyed. For this reason, Russia appears to have paused the use of the weapon for a while under the cold passes. Proof of this comes in the fact that the drones were last used in November, at least 3 weeks ago, which coincides with the first significant snowfalls of the season. In this period of pause, however, Russia is expected to receive 200 more Iranian drones to serve as replenishment for the heavily depleted arsenal of Russian drones. Russia isn't known for its lethality in modern drones. So to know how Russia's day is going relating to drones, a look at its frontrunner, the Shahed 136, would suffice. The Shahed 136 is a kamikaze drone, more formally a loitering munition. This means that it is a weapon that takes to the sky, loiters, and when a target is spotted, jets into said target for an explosive introduction. Loitering munitions have some advantages over missiles. For one, they could double as reconnaissance surveillance drones until their time to out a target. Also, they're able to stay within firing range from targets even before it's time to fire. This gives targets less time to evade or defend against. The US and therefore NATO, currently backing Ukraine against Russia, also wield loitering munitions of their own, known as the Switchblade 300 and Switchblade 600, and they're arguably the most advanced in the world. The Shahed 136, although quite far behind, is also a kamikaze drone to dread. It is designed to attack ground targets from a distance, fired in multiples from a launch rack. The task, in addition to taking out targets, is to overwhelm air defenses by consuming their resources during attack. To achieve this, the weapon is designed cheap, hence the use of materials that wouldn't exactly find home in military applications, such as plastic. To be as effective as it can be despite its limitations, the Shahed 136 has a cropped delta wing shape, with a central fuselage blending into the wings and stabilizing rudders at the tips. The nose section contains a warhead estimated to weigh between 66 and 110 pounds. The engine sits in the rear of the fuselage and drives a two-bladed propeller in a pusher arrangement. All of these combine to ensure that the weapon has the operational range of a long-range cruise missile, the loiter time of a bomber, and the lethality to easily cut through the atmosphere and accelerate to speeds up to 115 miles per hour en route to its target. The Shahed 136 is a weapon that combines the perks of multiple domains, and this is why Russia is very interested in it. So much so that after purchasing the weapon with a unit cost of over $10,000 from Iran, Russia went on to seek a license to produce a Russian version, known as the Garan 2. The Garan 2, similar to the Shahed 136 like a twin, comes with some upgrades to improve survivability in an ever-evolving battlefield. These upgrades include additional steering methods, new Russia flight control unit and microprocessors, and a shift from civilian-grade navigation components to the Russian GLONASS GNSS navigation system. These would make the Garan 2 more precise than its Iranian counterpart. Working alongside each other, the Shahed 136 and the Geran 2 are the two main drones Ukraine is currently up against. An effective Ukrainian response to these threats has been two different Ukrainian drones. Many of Ukraine's lethal drone-based responses to Russia's threats trace back to two drones in particular: the modern satellite-controlled missile-armed Bayraktar from Turkey and the older Tu-141 developed during the times of the Soviet Union. The Bayraktar is a medium-altitude, long-endurance, unmanned combat aerial vehicle capable of both remote-controlled and autonomous flight operations. The result of 400,000 flight hours, the Bayraktar TB2 drone today is as decisive in conflict as a fighter jet could be. For this reason, it has on occasion been the gift that civilians save up to ship to Ukraine in support of the country against Russian aggression. The decisiveness of the Bayraktar TB2 comes from a configuration that involves the aerial drone itself, ground control stations, ground data terminals, remote video terminals, and ground support equipment. Each aerial drone is equipped with a reliable triple-redundant avionics system that allows for autonomous taxi, takeoff, cruise, landing, and parking capability in terms of flight control. The avionics also enable the drone to conduct sensor fusion algorithms with real-time sensor data. Where the autonomous nature of the Bayraktar TB2 takes a back seat, the drone is managed by aircrew in a mobile ground control station equipped with redundant air conditioners and nuclear, biological, and chemical filtration equipment. This ground control station is based on a NATO spec shelter unit. It is equipped with cross-redundant command and control systems. Here, the TB2 can be supported by a personnel of 3, consisting of the pilot, payload operator, and the mission commander, each personnel having dual screens loaded with operator interface software used for real-time command, control, and monitoring. To enable each personnel to simultaneously operate the drones, the ground control station has a cross-redundant architecture. To power the drone's onboard systems, including communication systems that communicate with the ground control station, a Bayraktar TB2 is supported with triple alternators and balanced smart lithium-ion battery units. For seamless navigation, the TB2 is packed with sensor fusion algorithms and equipment, including an inertial navigation system that allows navigation and autonomous landing even in the event of a loss of GPS signals. For active attacks, the TB2 is armed with missiles, rockets, and mortars that make it a lethal fighter jet once it is within firing range from targets. With all these capabilities coming at a unit price of $5 million, the TB2 is one drone that could surely take the role of a fighter jet, and Turkey is already planning to do so. They're developing an upgraded TB2 variant known as the TB3, which is expected to be deployed on Turkey's TCG Anadolu amphibious assault ship as opposed to the American F-35B Lightning II. Surely with time, there'll be more updates on the operations of the TB3 and its predecessor, the TB2, but for now, a look at the second critical drone repelling Russia for Ukraine, the Tupolev Tu-141. The Tupolev Tu-141 is a 48-year-old drone that had its first flight in 1974, a time before drones were really a thing. Still, it has found a way to be relevant today for Ukraine. It's neither sophisticated nor intelligent, but it is fast, and it is huge, which is all Ukraine needs at the moment to make a kamikaze drone packed with significant amounts of explosives, moving at over 600 miles per hour. This high speed, along with its operational range of 620 miles and a service ceiling of 19,700 feet, is thanks to a highly efficient power plant of one Tumansky KR-17A engine producing 4,409 pound-force of thrust. In the early days of December, Russia would feel the heat that comes with this improvised kamikaze drone when multiple Tu-141s struck Russian air bases. The attacks were successful in destroying 2 Russian Tu-95 heavy bombers, a Tu-22M bomber, and a fire truck, among others. However, being as old as it is and still operating in the 21st century didn't come without its cons, as reports of Tu-141 accidents have not been as rare as Ukrainian authorities would like. One Tu-141 even went so far astray and off course that it was recovered in front of a student campus in Croatia, 340 miles away from Ukraine. However, for the most part, it's been a force to reckon with against Russia, which is no small feat to be said about a weapon that was present during the days of the Cold War. And now, it sees another war, but this time against Moscow, fighting alongside the Bayraktar TB2 to crush Russia in a drone war that Ukraine has no intention to lose. To ensure that this is the case, subscribe to this channel and give this video a like. It will go a long way. Thanks for watching.